I don't have any trouble at all with the bonds, but what they've done to the process really detracts from the good works the bonds would do.
You just don't trust this process?
You can't.
Williamson County voters will soon decide $450 million worth of road and parks bonds. But engineering companies who stand to earn millions from these bonds are spending big money working to influence the outcome of next Tuesday's election.
Proposition A is more than $400 million for road projects. Prop B is another $35 million for Parks and Rec. Some engineering firms have paid to put up the campaign signs seen all over the county.
And some of that cash also found its way into the campaign pockets of Williamson County's most powerful politicians, the Commissioner's Court. They get the final say in who gets the engineering contracts for these bonds.
KXAN Investigator Jody Barr digs into whether the money has an impact on this process in tonight's position of power.
As soon as I saw the sign cropping up, I thought, here we go again.
This is a road David Wofford's traveled before.
Citizens for Safety, Quality Roads, and Parks. You really have to get up close to see here.
In 2013, Wofford saw similar signs going up across Williamson County, asking voters to approve a $275 million road bond. What he found was engineering firms dumping money into the campaign to get the bond passed. Wofford first took his case to the public.
These are letters to the editor. This was October 30th of 2013.
He alerted taxpayers to what he figured out. His research found multiple engineering firms filling commissioners' campaign accounts with cash. Our analysis of those 2013 campaign filings shows 17 engineering firms made political contributions to the commissioners. 14 of those 17 firms were awarded an engineering contract.
You believe when these people are handing money to an elected official, you think there's something behind that?
I don't believe they're philanthropic entities. They're profit-making enterprises. They should be.
Now, 6 years later.
No difference whatsoever, sadly.
Wonder who's paying for the signs blanketing Williamson County this time? Engineering firms. Campaign finance reports show engineering and construction businesses dumped more than $160,000 into the 2019 pro-bond PAC. Many of those firms aren't even headquartered in Central Texas.
To think that they would be donating money to push a bond program in Central Texas if they're located in Indiana, what kind of stretch is that?
Maybe they want the road safer here.
Yeah, maybe they do.
5 people vote to award those engineering contracts. Trace the campaign cash and you find engineering firms giving campaign dollars to the people who will sign those contracts.
You have accepted contributions from engineering firms.
I have accepted 2 for this year.
Terry Cook's taken almost nothing from anyone during her first term as commissioner. But within the past few weeks, she told us she's taken $1,500 from 2 different engineering firms.
Can you see how some people may scratch their heads and go, man, this doesn't feel right?
I absolutely see that. And I welcome them to come see me, email me, come visit. We'll talk through what I do. Now, I can't speak for anyone else.
Cook argues because of the way the county hires engineers, it doesn't matter who gives what. State law won't let counties competitively bid engineering contracts. The county has to ask for qualifications. Then, a team of county employees scores and ranks those firms, negotiates a price and contract with the highest ranking. The team then sends its recommendation to the commissioners. However, the commissioners don't have to abide by the recommendation. These commissioners raked in more than $55,000 from businesses that might have a stake in the 2019 bond.
County government's big government. It is doing a lot of work. It's big business. So it's worth scrutinizing that. Absolutely worth scrutinizing it and speaking up about it.
And we did. Commissioner Russ Bowles' campaign records show 60% of his contributions came from engineers. We asked Bowles for an interview, but he never responded.
Excuse me, sure. Hey, I sent you an email yesterday. I'm with KXAN. Can we talk to you before you head out today?
And never stopped to talk with us at this public meeting last week. Neither did Commissioner Valerie Covey. Her campaign records show she took $21,000 from engineers and contractors and architects in the last 18 months. 80% of all her contributions.
I got it.
Can we catch you real quick before you head back?
I got to get started with this. We've got one item that's timely that we have to get out today
you're
to
coming
make
back
sure that
out?
it gets voted. I got to get
You'll be
signed.
back out?
Eventually, yeah, we'll come back out.
That was the last time we saw her.
So what are your questions? Can you turn the camera off before I tell you?
I would rather do this.
Commissioner Cynthia Long took $7,200 from similar types of firms. She didn't respond to our request for an interview and would not talk to us at this public meeting. The politician who took the most from engineering firms, County Judge Bill Gravel. His finance records show Gravel took $23,000 from engineers, contractors, and surveyors, more than half his total contributions. Gravel was not at this meeting last week and would not agree to an interview.
You know that what you're looking at is not illegal.
It's not illegal at all. I researched it.
And the reason you give an elected official money, some would argue you want something in return.
It's influence, certainly. You're trying to influence in some way, shape, or form.
You think it's working?
If you look at the process, it appears to be.
Well, instead of doing an interview, Judge Gravel sent us a statement. He wrote that lawyers advised the Commissioner's Court that the election code prohibits them from advocating or even speaking about the bond election. Again, we didn't find the commissioners doing anything wrong, but the point is the public cannot get the full picture simply by looking at these campaign finance reports. And here's why. State law requires all elected officials to use this campaign finance reporting form, but it does not require county commissioners to fill in these blanks, the job title and employer of the contributor. So we did the research to figure out who the contributors are and who they work for. And Sydney and Robert, if the bond passes next Tuesday night, we will continue to follow this to see exactly who gets those contracts.
Jody, thanks so much. Do you have a tip or concern about people in positions of power you want us to investigate? Let us know at reportit@kxan.com.